Waiting. We are live. Now we'll go live on the Instagram. We're almost there. Now we're live on Instagram. Man, all these things are coming together seamlessly.
Nice.
Jenny, you ready?
Yep.
All right, here comes the intro. You're listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Grow Clinton is a 501c6 nonprofit economic community development and tourism organization based in Clinton, Iowa. For more information, visit growclinton.com. Again, that's growclinton.com. Now, back to the show. What's going on, everybody? You beautiful people out there in podcast land that love listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Welcome back for this 105th episode, recorded on this day, the 24th of April, 2025. Wow, has the month flown by, Jenny?
It really hasn't. We had such a busy day today here. Meetings, all kinds of stuff going on. Busy office.
Too busy.
Got slower.
Too busy for my liking.
No.
Got to slow down a little bit. Well, there is something to say between that balance, right?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I cram a lot into the latter part of the week than I do the beginning. I don't know why. It just kind of happens that way.
That's when people are available.
Then I'm running around with my hair on fire, but it's cool. Whatever. It's good. My name is Andy Sokolovich. I'm the president and CEO of Grow Clinton, also your host for this episode of the Grow Clinton podcast. As always, the voice you heard, Jenny Home from our office. Jenny, what's your day been like so far?
Busy. Talking to prospective members and reaching out to our existing members. And that's what I love to do. I love to talk to everybody.
Well, you do a great job.
Aww.
Keep up the great work. For those of you that don't know, Grow Clinton is a nonprofit organization. We do not exist without our investor members. We have nearly 500 of them, allowing us to focus on workforce development, business attraction, business retention, and a bunch of other things to include tourism and entrepreneurial development. So if you're interested in becoming an investor of Grow Clinton, go to growclinton.com or just run by our office at 721 South 2nd Street. Speaking of investors, Jenny.
What?
Thank you to Miles Communications for powering the Grow Clinton podcast. That's right, folks. All of your high-speed fiber internet needs available at milestelephone.com. Check them out, milestelephone.com. Also offering television and telephone services. Thank you, Miles Communications, for your investment empowering the Grow Clinton podcast. Great guest today, Jenny.
I know it. One of the, if not the most exciting things that's happening in Clinton: education, work, all kinds of wonderful
Workforce
things.
development, partnerships. That's the key to success.
It really is.
In my opinion, is the creation and the development and fostering the growth of strategic relationships.
The pipeline is so important.
Because we cannot do it alone.
Yeah.
We just can't. So one of our strategic partners is Clinton Community College, part of Eastern Iowa Community Colleges. And we are joined by the president of CCC, Dr. Bian Kelly. Dr. Kelly, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here. Great to be a member of Grow Clinton. And we've got work to do, right?
Yeah.
We like doing it.
Well, I will say, since you arrived, how long have you been at Clinton?
5 years. I've been in town 5 years.
Wow. That flew by.
Yes,
I felt like I just met you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That did fly by. But since you arrived, you came to Clinton Community College with a focus on partnerships, specifically those that are going to help prepare our workforce for the jobs of tomorrow. And you throw out this stat. I'm going to let you say it. But what is your favorite statistic you like to throw out there?
And everyone who knows me has heard this a bunch of times.
Yeah.
69% of the jobs in our community require some sort of post-secondary education. So we're really focused on training our community for the jobs that exist in our community. We know at the community college, about 87% of our students stay in the community. Universities are much lower. That's 40 or 50%. We know they're going to stay here. If we can get them the training they need, we can keep them in this community and keep our employers fully staffed.
And you're really working on that. I mean, you have a great accomplishment since you've been here, and that's that community career advancement center.
Yeah, career advancement centers in Clinton and in DeWitt, a $40 million voter supported bond passed by, over 70% of the community. And to put those in was about a $20 million investment in Clinton and Jackson County. We have over 250 students in those career academies training for high-need jobs, welding. That was one thing that I'll stop and just reflect. When I moved here 5 years ago, it was amazing to me that we didn't have a welding program up here. Just even 5 years ago,
Yeah, given all the industry, metal fabrication.
yeah, tons of manufacturing and light manufacturing, and welding was a real need. So now, not only in Macokota, but at the Clinton Career Academy, we're pushing out about 25 welders a year.
Yeah,
Oh,
very cool.
that's
And
so
for those of you that are watching online, you can see that I renamed you from Brian to Brain. You're
Brain.
now known as Brain Kelly. Dr.
Suitable.
Brain Kelly.
I think that's suitable.
Man, I do that all the time. I'm sure that's not the first time it's ever happened to you or somebody fat fingers. and
It
puts-
might have happened once or twice.
Once or twice.
So Dr. Brain Kelly. Unfortunately, I can't fix it because we already started the broadcast, so it is what it is. But yes, the Career Advancement Academy, you say to get 70% of people to agree on something is nearly impossible, but we were able to do that once again in partnership with several other organizations. Now, talk to me a little bit about your K through 12 partnerships, specifically focused on those career pathways and academies.
Yeah, so we have a commitment for over 200 students throughout the Jackson and Clinton County area to attend those facilities for a decade, right? So for 10 years. That's the way we were able to finance at least the operational cost of those facilities. We are seeing all kinds of collaborative partnerships. I've got kids from Northeast going to both Clinton and DeWitt Center. We've got kids from Macokota coming all the way to Clinton because they have the programs they need here. And we're expanding these programs. We're really excited to be out on a search right now for a criminal justice instructor.
Oh, very
Oh,
cool.
So
wow.
that's a cool thing.
See what my dad's doing. He's retired. Maybe I can bring him to
Yeah.
Clint home.
That would be great because we need people to teach those courses, and it's fantastic because there's a ton of interest in that, and we see students going right out of this program not only into law enforcement but kind of into that, for lack of a better term, that CSI world.
Yeah.
You know, of crime scene investigation and doing some of the lab work, and they love it. We've had really good response to that in other areas of Eastern Iowa community colleges, and we're bringing that to Clinton.
Oh, very cool. I love your passion. I love your drive. You came to this community and you really fostered the growth and development of a community college. And I actually read an article, and I don't know the source, but it was talking about how in the last review of enrollments in community college, they actually surpassed that of a 4-year region school. So we're seeing more students go into community college, which I'm a huge fan of, getting those prerequisites out of the way, saving yourself some money,
It's a smart move.
and then
It
doing
really
career
is.
discovery
Yeah.
before you dunk a ton of cash at a large 4-year university and get out and go, okay, now I'm going to apply my skill sets and my knowledge to this career that I may or may not even be interested in.
It's true. I did the same thing when I went out when I was 18 and I went to school. I was going to be a teacher, and then I realized after spending a ton of money, I am too strict for that job. And this is probably not the career choice for me, but the money was gone already. And I wish I would have gone that path through the community college first.
Yeah, it's amazing. I tell our students all the time that I'm a first-generation college student, first one in my family that went to college, and I'm a community college graduate. So those two things make it really important to me to do this work. And so I often say I do this work deliberately. Something I like to talk about, one of the best days to be me of the year is when we meet with the regents and the other community colleges, and we talk about transfer rates, and we talk about how students who complete their bachelor's degrees do. And we have new statistics just from this year. If you started at a regent university in Iowa, you have a 47% chance of graduating in 6 years. If you started with us at a community college, you have a 61% chance of graduating. Our students graduate at equal to or greater rates than the native students that start at the regents. And you talked about the cost savings. The cost savings is significant. Our state universities are great. I have kids at several of them.
Yeah.
and I'm a big fan of Iowa higher ed, but it's $25,000 a year now for state schools.
And that
So
doesn't include like rent, dorm, food plan, all of that.
that is the full package
Right.
for
Oh, that is the
for
full
state school. Yeah,
package.
25,000. But
geez.
when you think of a
Still.
community college education at half of that,
Right.
and when you transfer and achieve that degree at one of our great Regent universities, no one knows the difference, right?
Right.
No,
Where you
nobody's-
started.
No.
And I think the reason our students are so successful in those universities is they had to start with tremendous faculty in small class sizes and were able to collaborate in smaller groups. Oftentimes at those universities, starting off in those lecture halls with 200 people, that's a tough go, especially if you're from a little town.
It's intimidating. Yeah.
It's a distraction out at some of those too. I mean, it's the distraction to have more of a social life actually than is, good for what you're doing. And I think when you stay home and maybe you're going to still live with your parents, even if you got your own apartment, you're still not paying as much as you would if you went out to university.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that I'm often involved in, and many people don't know exist, are the training incentives that are available to those existing industries as well as those industries we're looking to attract, specifically in the advanced manufacturing sector. There's what's called a 260E program, which is the Iowa new jobs that are coming into the region, brand new jobs coming into the state, I should say. And then there's the 260F, which are job training funds that are available to support the training needs of our existing industries. I have the ability to work with the staff at Eastern Iowa Community Colleges. Lee Allen is a great partner of ours, and he helps me create these really attractive training incentive packages that we send off as part of our bid to be able to bring in a prospect. But can you share a little bit how those work, and then maybe some of your successes to include the most recent program you established with Nestle Purina PetCare?
Yeah, a terrific opportunity for businesses. You've echoed some of my favorite sayings. I'll echo some of yours. We have to invest in the companies that are already here, right? That's the growth for this community. And you often cite that $500 million has been invested in Nestle over the past handful of years. Absolutely amazing. I don't know if people who drive by that every day think about that or know that. Products that are made only here. They're the only place in the country are made in the Clinton plant, and they have a lot of specialties. They need leaders. They need people who can do engineering technology. They need all kinds of training. So we're able to reach out to them during the workday. We have Nestle folks coming over, learning engineering technology, learning some of that maintenance, learning about hydraulics, and they're able to go right back to work. We're 10 minutes away. It's funded through these 260E and 260F agreements, and it's a great opportunity for collaboration. We're working on as you know, a P-Tech program that will help service ADM, 3M, and LyondellBasell. Joe's been a big proponent for getting a plan for P-Tech and process technician, and these are good jobs in our community. Earlier, when we talked about having some sort of post-secondary education, I always need to qualify that. Not everyone needs a 4-year degree. Everyone needs some training beyond high school. 70% of the jobs, some training beyond high school. That can be a 6-month certificate. That can be 6 classes. That can be an associate's degree. It can be a lot of different things. But our plants are so advanced right now. Walking into that control room at LyondellBasell is like being on Star Trek.
Yes.
You know,
It's
it's really impressive. It's a very cool space, but you need the knowledge to be in those spaces. You just can't walk out with a high school diploma right now and be ready for some of these jobs.
Yeah, it is amazing. I'm always blown away. You know, Jenny and I are blessed with the opportunity to be able to go and visit our existing industries and our region's largest employers. And you're right. You cannot deny the advancement in technology that these companies are using to make themselves more efficient. And in order to be able to do that, they have to have people that can fix robotics.
Right. And the idea that the programs are there now at Clinton Community College and Eastern Iowa Community Colleges to streamline, pipeline that into our existing industries. I mean, how else are you going to get everybody there? So I think that's amazing. That vision is just incredible and what we needed.
one of the programs that you offer at the Career Advancement Center that I absolutely love. It's not good for my waistline, but I love it, is the culinary program. And Lisa does a phenomenal job there. And it's amazing. I was over there the other day for a meeting in back right corner. I can't remember what the room number was. And then I walked past and they were doing ice sculptures.
Oh,
It's like so cool. I wish that was
Wow.
available when I was young, just
Oh
to
my
learn how to navigate a kitchen, how to use the tools and the resources available to create these amazing, just whether it's a dinner or it's an appetizer or it's an ice sculpture. It's so neat, and I love that. And the culinary lab is huge.
it's beautiful too.
It's gorgeous. I often say that's the nicest kitchen in town. You know, it's state of the art, and there's technology embedded, all different kinds of cooking methods and cooking forms. It's a great place to learn, and she's done an amazing job with that program. It's important to me that when we're training students, they're training on the latest model and the best equipment. Oftentimes, our students go into industry, and it takes 2 or 3 years for them to get the equipment they learned on in industry, right? Industry's on a 5 or a 7 year cycle for equipment. We might have the new stuff. That company will go. And by the time that stuff comes in, it's always great for me to get that call that says, hey, I already knew this, you know, it came in today and we've already worked on that. We wrote $1 million Department of Labor grant for our CNC equipment that's out in DeWitt. That's newer than most industry partners have. So we're able to train students on brand new equipment, the equipment they'll see in the next few years in industry.
Yeah, very impressive. Again, we're talking to Dr. Bian Kelly, not Brain Kelly, if you're looking at your screen, president of Clinton Community College, which is part of Eastern Iowa Community Colleges. And the other thing I want to touch on before we close out this broadcast is all the work that you're doing over at the Bickelhop Arboretum here in Clinton. We have a groundbreaking ceremony coming up on May 1st. I know your colleague Ann Eisenman has been doing a lot of the heavy lifting to see this through to fruition. But explain a little bit about what's going on out there, which is something that I consider to be our community's greatest asset in that arboretum, especially if you're into the outdoors or you're, naturalist. And Brian and I are both lucky to live right there, literally your backyard. I have to go down the alley about 100 yards and I'm there. But a lot of cool things going on.
Yeah, it's tremendous. So May 1st, 10 o'clock, we'll have a groundbreaking ceremony. Work has already begun at the Bickelhop Arboretum. The Bickelhop Arboretum, overseen by the Paul B. Scherer Foundation, is a gift, right? Bob and Francis gave that to the college and their family. And to me, moving here, it was really important that we preserve that legacy somehow. And I wanted to make sure that the family was in alignment with our vision. Our vision came from a conversation with the foundation board that said, we need to find a way to make this self-supporting, right? We need to find a way to generate enough money to keep the Arboretum in perpetuity. And I'm like, that's a great idea. Let's do that. So we decided we'd do an event center. We already have a lot of events there. We have limited space in this town. Sometimes we have busy nights where everything's filled. Let's put another event center in where we can celebrate art, nature, and education all in one. So Ann did a tremendous job. The community did a tremendous job. We raised over $5 million to contribute to this project, and it's moving along magnificently. We'll have a natural animal exhibit within there. There'll be conference space. There'll be conference rooms. There'll be a kitchen. Probably the highlight of that project is the pool room. Mrs. Bickelhop had a pool. She swam every day for a number of years. And for me, I didn't want to see that pool go away completely. So what we did is we took a 12-foot pool and we filled that up to about 3 feet from the top with concrete. We'll fix that area, and we have an artist. We have Hot Glass from Davenport who's going to put glass into the pool, and over the pool will be a glass floor. So you look down into the pool and see the glass art. It'll be like nothing around here, and I just think it's going to be a showstopper. So we're really excited to have an event space like that. The new deck will have more than 100 seats, and we'll be able to seat about 100 inside.
What an amazing venue. That is just
be
going to
so
be
cool.
Weddings, all kinds
That's
of
why
things.
we're never moving. We're right there.
Right there.
And it's funny because, Bush Construction's doing this project, not Bush Construction, excuse me, Clinton Engineering, part of McCarthy Bush. It's a whole thing. Anyways, Clinton Engineering is doing the project, and Brian Johnson is there like every morning from Clinton Engineering, and I see him on my way back through my walks because I cut back through the Arboretum. And for the longest time, I used to go and just peek my head into the window and check the progress. But then Ann Eisman informed me that they were putting a 6-foot fence around because people were getting uncomfortably close to the project. And with the construction and everything, it made sense to kind of block it off and keep Andy out of there.
I was going to say just you.
But it's
just
going
you.
along very well. And when I heard about the pool and how you were going to preserve that, I was blown away. You partnered with our good friend Gabby Torres from Paint It Back to kind of oversee the art side of the project. And I'm very excited about that. And it's just going to look amazing. It is a focal point. When I do community tours, which is something that we offer at Grow Clinton. So any company out there that has a new prospect coming in for an employment opportunity to include the hospital, we provide a community tour. Because if you drive into Clinton on Highway 30 and you come through Comanche and you go to wherever your destination is, you do not get to see some of the great spots along Clinton, whether it be Eagle Point Park or be the North End and Alliance Business Professional Association, their business district, or it be Bickelhop Arboretum.
You got to know where you're going.
We do a tour, and I always take them by the Arboretum, and they're always blown away. And especially this time of year, the grass is as green as it's going to get, and everything is starting to come to bloom. So it's a very cool location. And when I first moved there was a hen and a Drake mallard, so a male and a female, that were always down at the Arboretum. They are still there today.
No.
I'm assuming it's the same ones. Obviously, I didn't mark them.
They don't want to leave either.
But I was walking with my dogs down there the other day, and I saw this hen and Drake mallard just lift up and take off, and they've been there ever since. So.
Francie Bickelhop wrote a book about the Arboretum, and that is a really enjoyable, fun read. So if anybody wants to look that up, look it up. It's a great read. It's all about the different things that they've planted. And one of the things that I was really encouraged by is she wrote about their failures too, because I was trying to get into all of that, and it's just a really great book.
Yeah. It's a great book, and I'll steal a little bit of my story from next Thursday, but I want to talk about when I flew out to Clinton to interview for this job. I'd been doing some research in Oregon about the community and talking to different people. Looking up things, saw that there was a book written about the Arboretum, ordered that online, and read that on the plane coming out here.
Nice.
And so the first time I met Francie, she, who was one of the first people I met in the community, she came over and handed me a copy of that book, and I pulled one off my shelf, and I told her I already read it. And we were friends evermore.
Yeah, she lived right down from us. She lived in the Woodlawn Court side on the cul-de-sac, and I would come home, and every once in a while I would catch her on my front porch. She would put books in my mailbox that she thought I would.
Oh, no kidding!
I should read.
See, that's
and
community
she would sometimes
person.
dog ear different chapters and stuff, and she always loved doing that. And she was a great supporter of not only me but the organization and the community alike. So, but she has since passed. So it's so great to see that Arboretum continue to live on in their family's namesake. And they do have a copper statue that's down there in the Arboretum. That's Francie's parents, the original Bickelhop.
Right.
So, yeah. Very cool. Well, lots of stuff going on at Clinton Community College.
Can I ask about one more thing?
Yes.
All right. We talked about it before we went on the air. Talk to us about the Metallica Scholarship.
Oh, yeah.
Metallica Scholarship, it's amazing that through the All Within My Hands Foundation, and Metallica has given Clinton Community College over $175,000. 100% of that has gone into the pockets of students exploring engineering, technology, and welding. They've a great foundation. They have great team. They have great people that work with them. And we're really excited that they want to honor the people who have made their career, right? They often talk about electricians and carpenters and truck drivers and what it takes to put on a Metallica tour. And that was really what helped them be as successful as they are. And they've been amazingly successful. So part of that foundation is to give back. And we're just so appreciative. And we're just thrilled that we're part of a consortium across the United States and part of the colleges that Metallica has said we want to help fund your students.
Not the first thing a rock band thinks about when they hit it big. You know what I mean? They're not going to sit and think, well, let's set up a scholarship program for students who, have helped us get, where we are. But that's pretty amazing.
Right. And that foundation has been really involved in disaster relief as well. So they've picked some good things to invest their money
Yeah.
in.
Very cool. So from Arboretums to Metallica.
Yes.
You heard it here on the Grow Clinton podcast, episode 105 with Dr. Brian, not Brain, Kelly, President, Clinton Community College. Jenny, you got a busy week left here. Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday. Yes, actually, I got a lot of meetings, a lot of stuff I love to do.
Yeah, good. I got a lot of meetings too tomorrow, but I am cutting out a little early. My wife and I are going to go away for the weekend.
Do
You
it.
don't ever get to do that.
No, you
It
don't.
is
Busy people.
It's a moving target to schedule something where we can both get away with no kiddos. So
Do it.
We're taking advantage of that.
Have a good
So
time.
I'm excited.
Have a great time.
All right, everybody. If we don't talk to you before, then have a great weekend, and we'll be back soon with another episode of the Grow Clinton podcast. And until then, hey, stay awesome. Thank you for listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on all your socials. Until next time, see ya. All right, let me stop that. Let me end the stream.